More pork, and as I have been mentioning, you ought to take advantage of all the very low pork prices nowadays. This is almost March 2010. Notice the pork tenderloin. That's what we're cooking today. We're searing pork tenderloin. All I'm going to show you is the searing process and also the slicing of the pork tenderloin. So I've seasoned it with white pepper and sea salt. That's all. This is my cast iron fry pan. Notice the smoke. I've added a little bit of oil. Um, I'm using peanut oil for this purpose. I like to sear with peanut oil. It's not always cheap, and so sometimes I go other routes. A much thriftier route, I might add, is to use some rendered fat that you purchase from or even acquire for nothing from your local butcher friend, who I highly recommend you to make if you have not already done so. Notice the temperature. You can see on the right hand side of the frying pan the fat is spitting a little bit. This is a good indication that we're up to the right temperature for browning this meat. I would say, and it depends on the oven or on the stove, sorry, that the temperature is 75 to 80% of full. The frying pan is completely up to that temperature. Then I add the oil. It smokes a little bit, and then I add in my meat. Notice the light brown color. That's what I'm going for. I don't want to darken pork tenderloin too much. Pork tenderloin is very lean. It's delicious if cooked properly, but you can't be too aggressive searing it. You want to maintain a really nice high temperature, but not an extraordinarily scorching temperature. 75 to 80% of full. And here we have it. After searing it, I placed it in the oven. I cooked it at about 375 for uh, maybe 10 minutes maximum, I would say, if you've preheated everything properly. And now I'm slicing it off. Notice how I slice across the grain. You do not want to slice with the grain. I mean, with pork tenderloin, it's relatively forgiving. It wouldn't be the end of the universe. You wouldn't want to do this, or you wouldn't want to slice incorrectly with a piece of beef, however, because it would render it extremely tough, and a piece of lamb would be even worse. So pork tenderloin is a forgiving piece, but still do it properly and cut your pieces of tenderloin across the grain into little medallions. Then fan them out on the plate, serve them however. You could also take these, and prior to searing, you could have taken this pork tenderloin raw and cut yourself little miniature medallions, little teeny steaks, if you will, of 2 to maybe maximum of 4 ounces. But for the purpose of demonstrating the color that you're looking for, this is a fine example, and I highly recommend you to rewind and watch any of the close-ups on the color. It's important that you memorize this and that you really learn to sear within these boundaries, learn the temperature, learn how to produce a nice quality, thrifty product for your family and friends.